For decades, it has been the world's most whispered about financial secret, a ghost asset haunting the periphery of the global economy, dismissed by mainstream banks and mocked by financial analysts as a fool's gamble, a fantasy currency for the desperate and the delusional. But what if I told you that the waiting is finally over? That the silence from Baghdad has been shattered by an official announcement so profound it fundamentally rewrites the future of the entire Middle East and your own financial destiny. Because the central bank of Iraq has not just whispered, it has roared, initiating a monetary revolution that will be studied in economics classes for generations to come. And the first phase, the one all the gurus and insiders said would never happen in our lifetime, is live at this very moment, forcing the world to witness the official and irrevocable rollout of the digital Iraqi Dinar. A move that is not merely a technological upgrade but the undeniable precursor, the essential infrastructure for the long-prophesied revaluation, effectively making your physical dinar holdings not obsolete, but rather the key that unlocks a digital vault of unprecedented worth, connecting them directly to a blockchain-secured, internationally recognized asset that can be transferred across borders in seconds, a stark contrast to the cumbersome paper notes of the past. And this is not speculation from a shadowy forum or a cryptic hint from a blogger. This is the cold, hard reality being broadcast by the CBI itself, a sovereign nation finally flexing its financial muscles after 2 decades of war and reconstruction, standing on the foundation of its resurrected oil industry and its newfound political stability, deciding that the time for dependence on the US dollar is at an end, that the era of the Iraqi dinar as a regional powerhouse currency begins now. And they are building the digital highway upon which this new value will travel, ensuring that when the revaluation number is publicly declared, the system will already be in place to handle the tsunami of global capital seeking entry, preventing the chaos and logistical nightmares that so many skeptics predicted would doom the RV, proving that this is a meticulously planned operation, a financial D-Day executed with military precision, and for you, the investor who held on through the endless cycles of hope and despair, through the broken promises and the delayed dates, this digital rollout is your validation, your proof that you were not a fool but a visionary, that your patience was not a weakness but a strategic strength, because while others sold their dinars for a pittance out of frustration, you understood that geopolitics and global economics are a slow-moving chess game, not a quick hand of poker, and the checkmate move for Iraq is to untether its immense natural wealth from an artificially low exchange rate, to monetize its oil, gas, and mineral reserves not in dollars but in its own sovereign currency, and this digital platform is the mechanism for that historic shift, creating a transparent, traceable, and hyper-efficient financial system that makes corruption and black market trading exponentially more difficult, inviting the kind of foreign institutional investment that has so far been too wary to touch the Iraqi market. But with this new digital dinar, backed by gold and oil and running on secure ledgers, the trust barrier evaporates, and the gates to the Iraqi economy swing wide open, which is precisely why the exchange rate you see on your screen today is nothing but a ghost, a placeholder from a bygone era, a number that has not yet been informed of its own imminent demise, a value that is about to be rendered historical fiction by the simple act of this digital activation, making every moment you spend watching this video a moment closer to the financial reset that will be the lead story on every news channel on Earth. So let's cut through the noise and examine the brutal, organic data that makes this digital dinar rollout the single most important economic event of 2025, because this isn't happening in a vacuum. It's the direct result of ferocious behind-the-scenes negotiations between the government of Iraq, the International Monetary Fund, and the World Bank, all culminating in a series of compliance milestones that Iraq was forced to meet before a single line of digital code could be written, and they have met them, satisfying the stringent Article 8 requirements from the IMF that demand the removal of all currency restrictions for international transactions, a hurdle that for years seemed insurmountable but has now been cleared, paving the way for the Iraqi dinar to be traded freely and fairly on the global forex market without the shackles of government control. And this digital infrastructure is the physical manifestation of that new freedom, the tool that allows for that seamless global trade, And when you combine this with the recent and undisputed data from the Iraqi Ministry of Oil showing crude production consistently exceeding 4.5 million barrels per day, with projections aiming for 6 million by the end of the decade, you are looking at a nation sitting on a river of black gold that generates tens of billions of dollars in annual revenue, a revenue stream that provides a tangible, irrefutable asset backing for the currency, a concept completely absent from fiat currencies like the US dollar, which are backed by nothing more than government promise and military might. But the Iraqi dinar is now transitioning to a model more akin to the Gulf petrostates, where hydrocarbon wealth directly supports the currency's value, and the digital format simply makes that backing more transparent and auditable for the world to see, creating immense confidence. And this confidence is further amplified by the latest geopolitical shift, the strategic partnership brokered between Iraq and China, a deal that goes far beyond oil and directly incentivizes the use of the dinar in trade, with China committing to billions in infrastructure reconstruction, ports, railways, power grids, all paid for in a basket of currencies that deliberately sidelines the dollar and prominently features the dinar, a move designed to create a new financial pole in the world. And this is the organic data the mainstream financial networks are ignoring at their peril, because they are still analyzing Iraq through the lens of 2005, a nation of chaos and insurgency. But the ground truth from intelligence reports and on-the-ground economic analysts paints a radically different picture. A young, tech-savvy population, a government finally achieving a semblance of stability, and a banking sector undergoing a forced and rapid modernization. All of which creates a fertile ecosystem for a currency revaluation that isn't just a number change, but a fundamental recalibration of the nation's worth on the global stage, a recognition that the exchange rate was a temporary artifact of war and sanctions, not a reflection of the country's true intrinsic value, and with the digital dinar now operational, the mechanism for that recalibration is live, meaning the RV is no longer a question of if but a simple matter of when, and that when is measured in days and weeks, not years or decades, because the economic pressures are now too great to ignore, with inflation being tamed and liquidity in the banking system growing, all signaling that the old rate has become an anchor holding back the entire Iraqi economy, and the central bank has just cut the rope. Now you are at a crossroads, a pivotal moment of decision that will define your financial future for the rest of your life, because everything you have just heard, the digital rollout, the IMF compliance, the oil revenue, the Chinese partnership, it all converges into a single, undeniable truth that is about to explode onto the global financial scene with the force of a shockwave, and when that happens, the world will divide into two groups of people, those who prepared and those who wished. They had, those who understood the significance of this digital dinar announcement, and took immediate, decisive action to secure their position, and those who hesitated, who waited for the confirmation from CNN or the Wall Street Journal, by which time the life-changing opportunity to acquire dinar at a pre-revaluation rate will have vanished forever, sealed shut by the tidal wave of international demand that will follow the official RV announcement, an announcement that will send the exchange rate soaring to a level that reflects the true, unshackled potential of the Iraqi economy. And you must ask yourself a very simple, very direct question, when that news alert flashes on your phone, confirming what you already know from this video. Will you be in a position of power, calmly watching your foresight pay off, or will you be in a state of frantic panic, scrambling to get in at a fraction of the gains that were available just days before, because history has shown us time and again that fortunes are made in the quiet moments before the storm, in the period of maximum uncertainty when the crowd is fearful and the evidence is still assembling, and that is exactly where we are right now, in that final, breathless pause before the restart of the Iraqi dinar, a currency destined to become the star performer of the forex markets for the next decade, and your window to act, to align yourself with this inevitable financial outcome, is open now, but it is closing faster than you can possibly imagine. As the organic data stream from Iraq accelerates by the hour, each new development adding another layer of certainty to the outcome, another brick in the foundation of the new dinar, and your journey does not end here. This is merely the starting point, the base camp before the final ascent, and to ensure you are equipped with the most current, verified, and actionable intelligence, you need to become part of a community that is as dedicated to this truth as you are, which is why you must take the next critical step right now, without delay, because the information flow is what will ultimately secure your success. So click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because my next report will contain specific, detailed analysis on the timeline for the public RV announcement and the critical steps you must take to prepare your digital and physical assets for the transition. Information you cannot afford to miss, so subscribe, hit the bell, and I will see you in the next video, which could be the most important update you will ever receive.